It's Taco Tuesday!
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Taco here, back with another New World video. Today, there is a lot to unpack with New World finally adding the rumored Void Gauntlet, but there is also some major changes coming with this week's update that will drastically change New World for better or for worse. For those of you that have been supporting and are subscribed to the channel, I put out videos on Tuesdays, but in the past 2 weeks alone with New World, it seems like every day there is a new major development that's drastically impacting the state of this game. To adapt, I may start putting out videos, maybe 2 uploads a week or more, just to keep you guys up to date. So if you've been enjoying the New World content, make sure you hammer that like button for me and subscribe to keep up with everything going on, and also help me reach my goal of 500 subs by the end of the year. Now, I'm going to be sharing some gameplay from the PTR or test servers that are currently available right now to help test the upcoming patch. And for the most part, I stuck to mainly Outpost Rush and then some mage duels just to assess the Void Gauntlets strictly as a PvP weapon and get a feel for them. And for those of you who may be out of the loop, the Void Gauntlet will be used mainly as a magic based DPS weapon or for a support role. It's going to be the first weapon to scale on both intelligence and focus, which makes it really great to pair with the life staff, but also the fire staff and ice gauntlet. In the PTR, I personally paired the Void Gauntlet with the Ice Gauntlet, and for my attributes, I maxed out Intelligence and then gave the remainder to Focus. So this did give me more of a glass cannon, high DPS build, which did work at the time, but I don't think I'd recommend it knowing what I know now. For the weapon abilities and the passives, for the majority of this gameplay, I actually just maxed out the Annihilation tree on the left-hand side, which is focused mainly around the Void Blade. The Void Blade is a melee slash attack that can stack weapon damage. Often, I would just spam it in these close-up scenarios, but it's accompanied with a heavy thrust attack as well. The Petrifying Scream is the ability that I always used, and this is a stagger and it roots enemies, disabling their movement, and I maxed out all of the attributes for this. Now, this will allow you to range heavier, melee-focused enemies. Originally, as my third ability, I used Oblivion, which is basically this circular void energy around you that just causes proximity damage while also empowering you and fellow allies. This is definitely a powerful ability in more high concentrated areas. I'm thinking Outpost Rush or War, but when I was dueling or in smaller one-on-one fights, I did switch over to Essence Rupture. This ability is going to fire a projectile at an enemy that will heal you over time, so basically lifesteal, and I just felt like this was a lot better ability overall, so I would go with that as the third ability. Moving on to gear, in the main game, I primarily use light armor, so I'm used to having that double dodge as a caster, so that's what I stuck with here in the PTR using the Void Gauntlet. But what I realized is that it's really not meant to be this massive DPS weapon. It really is more of a support weapon in a support role, so I was constantly running into other users that were using it with both medium and heavy armor. And I think heavy may be the most effective because it does allow you to tank upcoming damage as you close the range with your Void Blade. Depending on the matchup, you should be able to get close enough in proximity using heavy armor and then just go absolutely crazy with the Void Blade's melee attack. Typically, for me, when I was using light armor, I would actually lead with the ice gauntlets using either Ice Storm and then Ice Shower if I was rushed, and then I would just go crazy with the Void Blade melee. My thoughts initially are that the Void Gauntlet really caused people some problems just understanding how to counter its abilities as it is a brand new weapon. And you'll see that throughout this gameplay. I think I finished 4th with points at the end, but for the most part, I was just bombarding people with the Void Blade. I really do see this weapon being paired greatly with the life staff since it scales identically, and that would be the ideal support role having both of those weapons. It seemed like the auto attack is a bit slower than the current main game Ice Gauntlet's auto, but it's tough to say because for the most part of the PTR servers, man, it was just extremely laggy whenever I was on. Once again, I mean, this is just a test server, so depending on the feedback, hopefully they're going to tweak the weapon, but in my opinion at least, it just didn't seem as strong as I hoped it would personally. If you did use or test the Void Gauntlets, comment down below your thoughts on the weapon. Did you like it? Did you feel it was strong or balanced? And did you use any of the different abilities that I maybe didn't? Now, I still will be showing PTR gameplay using the Void Gauntlets, but I gotta discuss some of the upcoming changes that are happening this week as part of the November update, because they are pretty massive to the health and overall future of New World. First off, new enemies are being added into the game, being the Varangian Raiders, as well as some other monsters, including the Witcher Stormmancer, Beetle, the Lost Shaman, and the Pirate Alligator. Lord knows what that's gonna look like. But there are a few more, and I think this was bound to happen. A lot of the current mobs are simply just copy and pasted or slightly altered from, the early game regions to the end game regions. This game down the line desperately needs more variety, I think, in every facet of the game. So new enemies that hopefully are going to have some, different combat attacks or styles is great to hear. Speaking of variety though, they are also adding main storyline quests, meaning greater task types and variety. And this was another glaring issue. A lot of the main quests were, go kill an enemy, get a drop and bring it back, or, kill 10 corrupted enemies or a certain quantity of an enemy, or go ahead and fetch this item. And I think it just got old so quick. And the truth is, this story, well, there isn't a story. So I do hope they continue to work on this, and it will be interesting to see these new additions in terms of how they fare, because moving forward with any kind of expansions or future content, I think some kind of actual lore-backed story would do this game so well to keeping people engaged and actually grinding out these quests. Additionally, for PvP faction missions, they've gone ahead and added more variety, which is also great to hear. So there's going to be 3 new styles of missions. The first being control points. That's going to send you to capture control of forts across the open world. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, the forts don't really serve that great of a purpose, just strictly in terms of who controls them. So this will hopefully create more action around them. Intercept is the other mission type. It's simply just killing other faction members outside of your faction and then collecting a drop. And then lastly, there is new retrieve missions for enemy war plans. These don't sound like anything too special, but I think the PvP, besides Outpost Rush and War, and even those two are struggling, but I just don't think it's very incentivizing. At least this makes PvP factions a bit more refreshing to complete, and I hope they continue to add more variety. Last but definitely not least is a trading update. Now, for trading, this has been all over the place recently. With the item duping, the market has been shut down, and then it was reopened, and now it's shut down again. But this new patch likely will reopen the trading posts now that they've either, banned the dupers or exploiters or whatever. And now all the trading posts are going to be linked and unified. This, to me, is an awesome quality of life change. I was so tired of traveling to Everfall or Windsward on my server just to buy mats or sell items to get the best cost. I think this is going to spread the player base out more across the map and give some of those higher scale regions or higher level regions like, Morningdale or Ebonscale just a lot bigger of a player base and more incentive to get a house there. And I think a single unified market should hopefully bring some price stability and make leveling up our professions easier without having to worry about market manipulation or what the price is of an item at one trading post or another. Overall, I'm not going to go into, a major rant into all the bugs and issues with the state of this game. That would have to be for another video and a lot longer of a video. And now that I've hit level 60 recently and I am grinding the end game content, I think that might be something that I will do, or at least on the horizon. But it does seem, to me at least, that Amazon is committed to improving the state and just the health of this game. I don't think a new weapon like the Void Gauntlet needed to be added at the moment, as there's clearly greater issues, but new content is new content, and I know I'll take it. So the changes on a quality of life level, they do seem very promising, and I hope this puts us in a right direction to get this game closer to reaching its full potential. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, as well as hearing my thoughts about the new weapon and this November update. As always, if you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe to support the channel. Until next time, I'm out.